the MLB Nation Bullpen Chatter podcast. Today we're joined with a special guest, catcher in the Oakland A's organization, Nick Rickles. Luke is going to handle the interview today, and I'm going to hand the interview over to Luke now. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Luke, and we're here with Nick Rickles. Nick, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. So this year you were splitting. You started out in Double-A Midland, and then went down to Single-A after one game. What happened there?
We signed a guy in Triple-A named Steven Bode, who's actually in the big leagues for us right now, and it kind of did the whole trickle-down effect. Everybody went down a slot. We had a couple guys already, so I just went down to wherever I got the chance to play. And that's kind of how it works. I mean, minor league baseball's a grind, so any place you can really get a chance to play and show off what you got. You just got to deal with it and make the best of the opportunities.
Gotcha. Yeah, you had in your only game with Double-A, you went 2 for 4. So I mean, yeah, it had to be the trickle-down effect. But you finished with 258, 7 home runs, 33 RBIs, 677 OPS. What do you think the best thing for you this year was hitting-wise?
Definitely the second half. I mean, the first half, I kind of struggled. I was moving a little bit. I didn't play for the first couple weeks because of Double-A, but when I got sent down, me and another guy were splitting some time, so it was still kind of tough to get, consistent ABs playing 4 times a week. And then the second half, I pretty much played every day, and I'm not sure exactly what my second half stats were significant in the first half. Ended up having the best month I had in July, and I think, being able to see a lot of pitching today and being confident going to the field, has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, in July you hit 400 with an OPS over 1,000. So yeah, you also you also won Player of the Week, one of the last weeks of July. Didn't you have like 7 8 RBIs in a game?
Yeah, I ended up having a grand slam in one of the games that we had that month, and that's kind of what kicked it off a little bit. And it kind of just went on from there. And I guess confidence is a huge thing when it comes to being a hitter. Especially when you play every day, it's easy to get to the slump. And when you're confident, you go into the plate and you continue bringing that attitude to the field every day. The longer you can ride it out, the better. And it seems, to pretty much the rest of the season from that point on at the stage. So I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, and last year in the same league, in the Midwest League, you hit 220. So what was your biggest adjustment from last year to this year?
The hitting coach, Casey Myers, who I actually had in short season the first year I was drafted, knows me probably pretty well as a hitter. I didn't have him last year, and when we got, I struggled a little bit this year. We kind of reverted to some things we did routine-wise, stuff in the cage every single day, and, he's pretty persistent on getting guys in there, and I like to work pretty hard, so he was, whenever I was there, he was there, and I think he had a lot, to help with my success to get me in there working every day. The routine was a huge part of it. And
do the A's have anything for you to do this winter? Are you going to instructional ball or something?
I actually didn't have to go to instructional ball this year. I went to mini camp to start some training, so I had that extra month before the season. This year, I'm kind of just working on, the weight room, maybe building some speed a little bit here and there. Just working on the same stuff I did last offseason. I came in, weight-wise, they wanted me last year, so I'm going to continue on that program, and hopefully, I get back to spring training and can make a jump or two. That's good.
Where do you see yourself at starting out next year?
To be honest, I don't know. I mean, last year I was planning on going to high A, which would have been a level up, and then obviously I got sent to Double-A to start the year. I had a good spring training, so to be completely honest with you, my best guess would be, I don't know, just based on how fast things happen in organizations. So just go into spring training, hopefully have the same type of spring training I had last year and put myself in a position to move up.
And you got drafted in the 14th round of the 2011 first-year player draft. Do you kind of find yourself saying that, I don't know, the cliche, like trying to prove everybody wrong who passed on you kind of thing? Or you just kind of laid back?
Yeah, I've kind of been like that everywhere I've been. I mean, my school, Stetson, was kind of a smaller school in my junior year. We had some pretty big upsets, and then, I ended up getting drafted in the 14th round. And it's still awesome. My goal was to play professional baseball from the very beginning, so any chance I had to get, I would have loved to take. And, they drafted me in the 14th round, but I think it's everybody's goal to make it to the big leagues, and I want to do it as fast as possible. So prove people wrong is what is going to motivate me, then that's what I'm going to stick with. But there's all kinds of stuff motivating me, especially from a catching standpoint. You want to prove yourself every single day.
All right. And for those who don't follow you on Twitter, it's at Nick Rickles. and they can see that you have some pretty good facial hair and tattoo game. We'll start out with the tattoos. How many tattoos do you actually have?
I would say anywhere around 13 to 14. I'm actually getting some more done this off season. I had this same guy, Marvin Virgil, out of Orlando, and I've had him 4 or 5 times, and he's done a great job.
And that just cover your arms?
Yeah, my left arm's covered from shoulder to wrist. I have one on my back, one on my side, both inside of my arms. And my right arm actually is just shoulder to elbow for now. And I'm going to get some redone stuff on the shoulder to elbow on my right arm, and then go from there. It took me a while to go past the elbow, but in my profession, tattoos really aren't that big of a deal.
Yeah. So, and with the facial hair, how many different facial hair styles do you use this year?
I probably had anywhere from 5 or 6. We had some really, really big winning streaks in the beginning of the year, so I just kept the beard going, and that got pretty long, and then we lost a couple in a row, shifted off, went to the mustache. We had pretty much to the playoff. I mean, we already won the first half of the playoffs, but, they weren't really crazy about the second half winning-wise. But then we actually hit a game or two where we lost like 4 or 5 in a row, so everyone did something crazy. I just remembered my mustache. I had this little chin strap connected to a mustache, just a goatee. It was kind of just every single day, every week was something different.
What was your favorite?
I had to say I got the most attention from the mustache. I think it's because I dyed it jet black and my hair is blonde, so it kind of stuck out a little bit more than anything else. So I think I'm going to have to go with the mustache.
All right, that's good. You got any shout-outs or anything you want to say on there?
No, I just appreciate you guys' time. Thanks for having me on here.
All right, and it's at Nick Rickles, correct, on Twitter?
Yep, that's it.
All right, so we'll make sure to give you a follow, and we'll talk to you later. Nick, thanks for being on.
Perfect, man. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
Thanks, Nick. Moving on to our next segment, in which Luke and I will reveal our awards predictions for the 2013 season. We'll give out our MVPs, our Cy Youngs, our Rookie of the Years, our Comeback Player of the Years, and our Manager of the Years for each league. Let's kick it off with the Managers of the Year. We'll start in the National League. Luke, who is your NL Manager of the Year?
Clint Hurdle. And
That's who mine is, too.
Don't really think it's close.
It really isn't. I mean, Freddie Gonzalez has done a great job in Atlanta this year. Don Mattingly, I mean, he's done a fantastic job turning the Dodgers around. But, I mean, Clint Hurdle's just done an amazing job. He's one of the most underrated managers in the game. I mean, he took Colorado to the World Series in 2011. Look what's happened there since.
Yep.
I mean, he's come to Pittsburgh after they had a 55-win season, I believe, 2010, if I'm not mistaken. Since he's been there, I mean, they've just taken off. And so, I mean, you got to give him a lot of credit.
And
so we on that front.
Yep.
Looking to the American League, who's yours?
Terry Francona.
Really, tell us why.
I just think, I mean, nobody predicted Cleveland to be this good. I mean, yeah, you could look at Joe Madden or John Farrell with the Red Sox, but I just think Terry Francona just leading that team, and that the team's just something special, I mean, every night. And I just think Francona's going to win it if Cleveland gets in the playoffs.
I assume they will with their schedule coming up.
That's very true.
It's hard to argue with Terry Francona, but I'm going to go with a guy that I've talked about on a couple of the last couple of shows that you didn't mention at all right there. That's Joe Girardi. I got to give it to him. I mean, as I've said, the Yankees have used over 55 players. Over 55. I mean, everyone's been hurt. I mean, there's been a time nobody, and I said this before, nobody from the projected opening day lineup has played a game together all season. And he's held that team into playoff contention. They're probably not going to make it, but at least he's kept them around, and they're significantly over 500. So what a job by Joe Girardi, and the Yankees desperately need him back, and almost as much as they need Cano back going forward.
Yeah, I can't wait till he's the manager of my Cubs next year.
That should be interesting. We'll move to the Comeback Player of the Year award right now. And I'll kick off with the National League, and I'm going to give it to Francisco Liriano. I mean, he has been just terrific this year. I mean, his slider is back in form. His mentality is back in form. I mean, this guy hasn't had an ERA under 5 since 2010. This year, I mean, he's picked up 16 wins. He's got an ERA of, I believe, 3.02. I mean, he's just been fantastic, and he's probably going to lead the Pirates pitching staff, and he's probably going to start for them in a wild card game.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I mean, Liriano's looking back to his 06 with the Twins form when he was completely dominant, and he came really out of nowhere. I mean, the signing with the Pirates was just, okay, he's probably going to be like a 4th or 5th starter, and he's turning out to be probably their ace.
I mean, it's just been unbelievable year for him. In the American League, I mean, there was a lot of options. There wasn't a true standout option. I mean, you could go with James Loney, who's really turned it around after just a dreadful year last year between the Dodgers and Boston. But I'm going to give it to a guy who really has come back, and that's Victor Martinez. I mean, just didn't play a game last year, and I mean, the second since April, what he's done is unbelievable. I believe he leads the majors in batting average since April. He's hitting 302 on the year. I mean, it's just been an awesome year for V-Mart, and I mean, he's contributed to the Tigers, and he's probably going to win the American League Central.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, you pretty much just said it all there. I mean, Martinez just coming back, and that presence right after Cabrera and Prince, that's just unmatched.
All right, now on to something that I know everybody's got their own opinion on, and that's the National League Rookie of the Year situation. I mean, you could go from anywhere from Julio Teheran to Shelby Miller to Jose Fernandez to Yasiel Puig. And Luke, I will go ahead and let you start.
In my opinion, it's Jose Fernandez, and it's not close.
Really? Because I believe it's Yasiel Puig, and it's not close.
No.
And I'll tell you why.
All right.
I'll tell you why. And I've written on him before, and everyone knows how I view Yasiel Puig. I'm as big a fan of his as there is. And I've said this on the previous podcast. Since he's arrived in the Dodgers, they are above, their winning percentage is above 700 since Yasiel Puig. They've gone from worst to first. I mean, he really has not slowed down. I mean, yes, sure, he's slowed down. He's not hitting 450 anymore. But look at his numbers. I mean, he's been unbelievable. He homered again on Tuesday night. I mean, he's just turned into such a dynamic player. And, I mean, as good as, I mean, yeah, Jose Fernandez has been, you know, unbelievably great. He really had an amazing year. But, I mean, the impact we had on a playoff team, turning a team from an afterthought to a title contender. I mean, how does that not get you an award?
I think if they had a team most improved by one player award, maybe, but I think if you got to look at just one player and his individual performance, disregarding what the team did, it's got to be Jose Fernandez. I mean, 2.19 ERA in your first full season, that's unbelievable.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's unbelievable. But, I mean, Yasiel Puig, it's not like his numbers are poor at all. I mean, yes, Jose Fernandez's numbers are literally, they're unbelievable, and you're going to see him around as one of the top pitchers in baseball for a long, long time. But in this year, if you can't not take into account the impact the guys had on his team, but I mean, Yasiel Puig's numbers are still amazing. He's hit 326 with an OBP of about 400. He's almost got 20 homers. I mean, he's stealing bases. He's got played unbelievable in the outfield. I mean, it's just, I don't understand how you don't give him, I mean, no, I do understand how you don't give him the award you give to Fernandez, but I mean, it's close. It really is. I understand the argument from the other side, and I hope people understand the arguments from my side. It's really going to come down to the wire between these two stars.
Yep.
But what sucks for the other guys is the fact that Julio Teheran's not going to get any consideration, and he's been absolutely fantastic for Atlanta.
Yeah, different year where you don't have two studs in the top two. Teheran wins it, but.
And now to a very, very less competitive vote in the American League, where there's not a true breakout star, but there's been some really good guys from Chris Archer to Will Myers, both of the Rays, and I picked one of them as my AL Rookie of the Year, but I'll let you start.
It's Will Myers for me. I mean,
I went with the same one. I mean, he's been awesome.
He has been unbelievable. I mean, hitting 293 with 13 home runs, 51 RBIs, and just 82 games that he's been up. I mean, on-base percentage of 354. I mean, kid's been unbelievable and playing some great right field.
What I find awesome is the fact that he in the last 2 years, you know, he's had great years in the minor leagues, but he's had trouble not striking out. And he's hitting at a 354 on-base percentage in the majors. He's not striking out as much. He's walking more. He's being patient in the batter's box, and I mean, I guess something with Joe Maddon's rubbed off. I mean, it's the Joe Maddon effect, as I always say.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the best managers in baseball.
He really is. I would give him the AL Manager of the Year if I didn't nominate him for it every single year.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the Cy Young Awards, and we'll start in the National League, and it's going to go to some guy named Kershaw. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else should get another first place vote.
No one will get another first place vote. Not when you have an ERA of 1.88.
Yeah, it's not even going to be close at all.
It's not. It's really not fair anymore. He's got his last start of the year against the Rockies, and I'm just hoping he finishes the year with an ERA of like 1.75. I mean, he's just so dominant. It's amazing. And he knew he was going to have a huge year after his opening day performance. That his shutout in the game he had a home run. That was awesome.
Yeah. Has there ever been a unanimous Cy Young winner?
I don't even know. I wouldn't assume. Maybe Pedro Martinez got it once, because I know he had a couple years where he was just amazing.
Yeah, I was thinking either them or one of the years Clemens or Randy Johnson won it, but I'm not sure.
From like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
That could happen. So I mean, I would assume he probably got it since he won the MVP as well.
Yeah.
So in the American League, and there's a lot of discussion on this. A lot of candidates in the American League. A lot of people want to give it to Scherzer because of all his wins. As I always say, hashtag kill the win. Keep it going on Twitter, guys. The win is not an indication of a pitcher. Learn it. Don't judge a pitcher based on his wins. I'm telling you. Travis Wood on your Cubs, Luke, is 9-11, but he's got a fantastic whip in ERA. He's an all-star, but he's 9-11.
Yep. And even like Jose Fernandez only has 12 wins. He's 12-6. You can't judge it on that.
Matt Harvey won 9 games. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. And it's not all credit to him when they win. He could give up 17 runs as long as you score 18.
Yep.
Look at the win. But my American League Cy Young is, a lot of people might think it's Felix Hernandez or Chris Sale or Scherzer. But I give that to Yu Darvish. I mean, his numbers are fantastic. He's been awesome. I mean, I only wish he could face the Astros every time out so he could go, 5 starts and combine 5 hits allowed.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't mean to be one of these guys, but I think I'm going to go with Scherzer.
No, and I'm not saying it's... Yes, you could definitely go with Scherzer and make an argument for it. But when someone tries to make the argument to me that, he's 20-3, I just get so frustrated. I'm like, that's not... Who cares?
Yep.
Who really cares? Yes, you could definitely make an argument for Scherzer, but use other stats than a win-loss. I mean, look at the team he's on. It's fantastic. Darvish has lost, 4 or 5 1-0 games this season?
Yep.
That's not his fault.
Yeah, but I mean, Scherzer's second in strikeouts behind Darvish, and 3 ERA, and I just think they'll probably lean towards somebody who made the playoffs rather than somebody who didn't.
That's true. I understand your case. All right, now, last but not least, the Most Valuable Player Awards, and there's a lot of discussion on both of these. So, Luke, I'll let you get started with the National League Most Valuable Player Award.
To me, I mean, this is a really tight race, but I think I'm going to go with Andrew McCutchen.
That's who I'm going with also. I mean, what a year it's been for McCutchen. He started off slow, but I mean, I don't want to say he's carried this Pirates team, but he's put them on his back, and he's led them to postseason. His stats are awesome. He's been a fantastic player. I mean, a lot. And I certainly understand the case if someone wants to go Kershaw. I understand the case if someone wants to go Molina, possibly Votto, Freddie Freeman. If you get votes, Paul Goldschmidt, all these guys could. But I'm going to go with Andrew McCutchen, and it's going to be a tight race because so many guys have had good seasons.
I just think MVP voters are going to look at the storyline, and they're going to see that Pittsburgh hasn't won in all these years, and they're going to look at the best player. And if he's in the discussion, I think he gets it. Kind
of like with Buster Posey last year. I mean, that's kind of how that went with the storyline. Maybe he didn't have MVP numbers, but valuable. It's an award for the most valuable player, not the best player.
Yep.
Which also leads us to our next award, the American League MVP. And let me start this one. I'll start off by telling you guys, Miguel Cabrera is the best hitter on the planet.
Yes.
I repeat, he's the best hitter on the planet. Okay? You take him off that Detroit team, they're still in postseason contention. They've got Prince, Victor Martinez. They're going to get Johnny Peralta back on Thursday. Actually, that was just announced. They've had so many good players this year. Losing Miguel Cabrera is huge, but they're still in playoff contention. The Angels are making a climb back right now. Obviously, they're not going to make the playoffs, but they're making a climb towards 500. You take that Mike Trout off that team, they're 20 games below 500.
Yeah.
He's got the highest WAR in baseball this year, which I reference a lot. His numbers are amazing. So I'm going as my American League MVP. I'm going with the best player in baseball, Mike Trout.
Yeah, I'm up in the air. Those Trout, Cabrera. You can even throw Chris Davis in there. I bet Chris Davis is going to get some votes, but I don't really know where to go on this one. I seen what the voters voted for last year and the whole thing with the Cabrera and Trout discussion. Cabrera is still leading baseball in average RBIs, OPS, and on-base percentage, and that's just outstanding.
Sure he is, but look, he's been had durability issues down the stretch. He's a horrendous defensive player, which doesn't cancel out his offense, but he's a horrendous defender at third base. Mike Trout, there's nothing Mike Trout can't do. If you ask Mike Trout to walk on water, he probably could. He's stealing bases, he's hitting for power, he's doing great in the outfield. He hits for average. He does everything. And Cabrera does really one thing. He does it better than anyone I've ever seen, but he really does one thing. Mike Trout is a 5+ tool player.
I completely agree that Mike Trout's a better overall player, but I think if they're going to give an award to somebody, they're just going to look solely at offense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can understand that, but, in my opinion, it should go to Mike Trout. I'll tell you right now, Mike Trout ain't getting the award. He's not getting it. It's going to go to Cabrera, but I believe it should be Mike Trout, even though it ultimately will be Miguel Cabrera, because there's still so many baseball writers that don't deserve these votes for the Hall of Fame, but they have them, not Hall of Fame, for the awards, and they're going to give it to the guy that's always on the best team, he's the best hitter, okay, but look at all these games, look at how valuable a player is. Just take WAR, as I always reference, WAR. Mike Trout has the highest in baseball. Miguel Cabrera has a lower WAR than Josh Donaldson.
He does.
If you go by that. I'm going to give the award to Mike Trout, and I totally understand if you're going to give it to Miguel Cabrera. I don't fault you because, as I said, he's the best hitter in the world.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Cabrera. Again, I was on the Cabrera train last year, and I think I'm going to stick with it this year.
I was on the Cabrera train last year, but, I didn't necessarily believe wholeheartedly that Mike Trout was who he showed us he could and played like he is. But, he's done it again. He's almost gotten better this year. So I'm going to give it to Mike Trout. But, all these awards are tight races. That'll just about wrap up the show. What are your award predictions? Leave your comments below when the link is posted. You can follow me on Twitter at TheBTrain10. You can follow Luke on Twitter at LukeJet10. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to check out the MLBNation.com, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out.